Welcome to My Watches with Ben. Today's video is on tan dive watches. This is a spin-off of the 18-hour dive watch series I did over the summer. So I just took the scorecards from that video and, sorted the spreadsheet by color, and today we're looking at tan watches. I'll show you what I think the best tan dive watches are. If you just want to see the top 10, skip ahead. I put a link in the description. You can just check out what are the top 10 tan dive watches. If you want to see all of them, keep watching. I'll show you all of them. I mentioned this before, I'm just doing these color videos while I wrap up the Pilot Chronograph one. And speaking of the Pilot Chronograph one, here's a little sneak peek. Here's the distribution of the ones I've scored. I scored 311 out of 422. So I'm mostly done entering all the data about the watches. From this chart, you can see most of them are not that great, but there are a lot of good ones. At least so far, this C spike is out of control. Here's the colors of all the dive watches I looked at. The colors available on the market. And you've got really popular colors: black, blue, green, white, silver. And then we start getting more obscure. And, I already did lime green, I already did purple, I did gold. Today we're doing tan. And the last one I think I'll do is pink. If somebody really wants me to do a different one, I'll do another one too. Brown or yellow or whatever. But that's the plan. After this one, I'll just do pink. Here are the shades that I included. I think what's closest to tan, tan khaki, you can see here, this Luminox. Yeah, that's definitely tan there. Sand is kind of a little darker than that. These two are solid tans. The apathetic faces here: dirt, almond, desert sand. I'm still okay with those ones. When we get to these frowny faces, it's kind of veering from tan. We've got caramel over here, cocoa, fawn. And then on the light side, you've got birch, the Seiko. It looks really cool, actually. And then beige or cream. All right, now I'll just show you 37 tan watches. And then at the end, I'll show you what are the best ones. All right, first is this Protech USMC PT1 And yeah, you can see it's kind of a dirt color. It's a little bit pale brown, so I put it in this video. This is the highest scoring one of all of them. It's a quartz watch. You've got tritium illumination. That looks really nice. Yeah, I think this is a totally decent dive watch. 300 meters water resistance. Yeah, this is suitable for your dive needs. No question about it. All right, second is the Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean 600. Wow, this is expensive. $8,600. It's one of the priciest ones in here. But it's a really capable dive watch, 600 meters water resistance. It looks really cool, actually. Yeah, it has this low contrast penalty because silver hands on an almond colored dial. That's garbage. They need to contrast with each other. This is bad. They're blending together. And it looks like more contrast than you're actually going to have in the real world. Because they have all these, look, it's got these shadows around the indexes. You're not going to see the shadows most of the time. It's just going to be everything blending in. Really sweet watch, though. No question about it. Just unfortunate that it has low contrast. Score of 85. Third is the Doca Army. Yeah, this is a weird one. I was not really aware of this as its own thing. But yeah, Doca Army. It just says Army here. Very minimal text. That's right, it's a little pixelated. Yeah, just like a target sign and it says Army. I don't know what the deal is. I hate all the squares and the contrast. It's just too funky. It's way too funky for me. The two thus far have had that 7-point star, meaning they have a chance for runoff. This one does not. I'm not going to talk about this anymore after this. I don't like it personally. Loom actually looks okay. That's kind of a surprise. Doca Loom is typically horrible. This one looks pretty good. This is probably the best Loom of any Doca. And in fourth is the Luminox 3000 Navy SEAL Evo. This will be at the end. I think it looks really, really cool. Love how this thing looks. Forged carbon case is really sweet. It's not going to corrode in the salt water. It's going to be very light. It has extremely high tensile strength. It's just really cool material to make a watch out of. But yeah, only 13 thick. It's actually thinner than normal for this water resistance rating, even with the tritium tubes. It's going to be a good watch. Kind of expensive though. $545 is a lot for just a quartz watch, but it's because of that tritium. Cool option though. Fifth is the Seiko Tuna SRPE 29, $474. It's got that caramel colored dial, negative display day date here. It looks really cool. The loom is actually really nice on this too. The color's not exactly what I prefer, especially because it clashes with the silicone strap here. But this is a cool one, especially if you really want a tan watch. I think this is one to consider. 6 is Blancpain 50 Fathoms Bathyscaphe Desert. I think this is the most expensive, $13,600. Cool sand dial. Seems all right. It's not exciting me. Blancpain, why is it 14.2 thick? For whatever reason, Blancpain just makes thick watches. A lot of these expensive brands, you understand why they're expensive. Like you look at a Patek Philippe, and they're so darn thin, and they look amazing. But then you look at Blancpain, and it's like, there's a lot of micro brands that do these sorts of things, but they're not this thick. What does Blancpain bring to the table? I don't know. Next, the Seiko Scuba Polygonal SPB 481 is a very new watch, hot off the presses. Could not find a Loom shot. That's why I brought this up. But it just has a Loom pip. That's all you get on the bezel. I like that it has dots all the way around the outside. And the shape of it is interesting. It's an octagon shape, or there's just 8 kind of sides to this thing. Very interesting look. Dial looks really cool. I called it a birch color. It has a wood appearance to it. It's nice. Cool index shapes. Yeah, this is fresh. This is a fresh design from Seiko. I like it. And they've improved their bracelets. A lot of Seiko bracelets don't have an extension on them, but this one does. And this is ISO rated. See the apostrophe with its divers here? Looks like it has a 6R55. Ooh, circular date cutout. Yeah, this is really cool. Next we have the Orient M-Force AC0L. And Funk Factory here. This is a Funk Factory. I said high contrast, but when these hands are in front of that champagne or tan, whatever this is, stripe in the middle, it's hard to see those. Just weird crown guards here that also go over the bezel slightly. Brown bezel. This is a funky watch. 45 millimeters, so it's going to be pretty large too. Next is a Zeos Spearfish. And I call this fawn color here. But you get a dual time bezel, fully loomed dual time bezel. May as well show you this loom. It's looking good. Zeos is great about color matching these date wheels. That looks good. I think red is the wrong color here. Maybe silver or something would look better. This is weird to me. Nice and thin though. They do a great job. Zeos makes a well-proportioned watch. 40 millimeters, but only 11.5 thick. That's excellent. Thinner than the Rolex Submariner. Next is the Aquatico Dolphin. Only $299. One of the lower priced watches in this video. And it's a 38 as well. It's one of the smaller diameter watches in the video. It's a shame they do these Mercedes hands. It would really elevate the watch to just have something that's not Mercedes hands. But yeah, this is kind of a cream color. We're still in the C grade area. 11th is the Citizen Marine. And yeah, it's kind of a copper. I did include some copper dials in that gold one. This would not fit in the gold one. I don't even know if it really fits in the tan one. It's kind of a brown, just a straight up brown. That's all right. Here it is. It's a cool watch. ISO rated. Get anti-magnetism. It's okay. Shown here on a silicone strap. Here's a beauty. 12th is the Longines Legend Diver 36. It looks really nice. It's only 36 millimeters. That's probably the smallest in this whole video. 36 is small. Cool strap. Very interesting choice, yeah. The loom is obnoxiously bad. It's just weird. Really weird loom. This gigantic gulf with no markings. And then, I just don't get it. I don't get what this weird loom is. But yeah, internal bezel. Cool look. Next is the Trasa Seafarer. I called this Desert Tan. I think it was Desert Tan. Oh, Desert Sand. It's Desert Sand. So it's sort of a coral. It's a little bit salmon, but it's sort of also just kind of brown. It's like tan and salmon mixed together. 39 millimeter. Yeah, it seems nice. Trasa. Only 150 meters water resistance though. Totally, probably still suitable for 95% of people who are looking for a dive watch. That's one thing I covered over that series, is that these water resistance ratings are kind of out of control. A lot of these watches go way deeper than any real diver would ever need. Yeah, cool looking watch. Next, the T-Soviet SMT ML53. It looks good. Could not find a loom shot. Fun red date disc. I like that. And it comes with a NATO strap, so you can swap it off this bracelet that doesn't have the extension. 15th is a Zeos Black Tip. Ooh, tan date wheel. I like that. Let's look at the loom. Yes. Zeos does good loom here. They like to put loom on the other side of that date wheel, which is good. That's what you want. It's really nice that the bezel has marks all the way around. Love that. Good looking H-link bracelet. You can have a very nice extension. Yeah, I should definitely get a Zeos. There's a Zeos in my future for sure. Really nice micro brand. Next, this Christopher Ward C65 Aquitaine. It's a cream dial. maybe even beige. No, wait, no. The dial is ivory and the indexes are cream. So horrible contrast, low contrast. It's not what you want. Put black indexes or something. Just do gunmetal hands and indices. Next is the Aqua Trident Ocean. I never heard of Aqua Trident. I actually don't think this was in the original Dive Watch series. I didn't see this brand before. Yeah, it's got a particle board dial here. Really cool loom. Yes, look at that. Loom date. Loom all over here. Just loom everywhere. It's looking so cool. Oh, I forgot. It should get a point for the loom date. That's alright. That won't change anything. Cool option. They took the picture with water on it. Or maybe computer generated water? I don't know. It's looking a little fake. Cool looking watch. Next is the NSB Canaveral. It's just a Submariner. But at least, look, they changed up the hands. They have a really unique dial. The indices are totally different. The stuff that's Submariner is just the case shape and the style of the bezel. But obviously Rolex does not have a brown bezel like this. So I'm okay with this. You know, Submariner case shape is fine. I mean, micro brands will often have all the same case shape too. A lot of times they just do that skin diver case shape, for example. So I don't mind the case matching Submariner. They did so much other cool stuff. And good grief, could you imagine if Rolex ever did loom like this? That would be so cool. Secondhand has a lot of loom on it. When have you seen a secondhand with a strip of loom this thick? That's got to be a first. Only 38 millimeters in diameter. Next to the Horizon Diver N. Oh man, the Art Deco is so cool on this. Yeah, I think I had the blue one in the original video. But I love this cutout here for the date, like a rotary telephone. It gets really high style points, this one. Alright, 20th is the Aron Dive Master Titanium 50 millimeter. Aron does great loom. Look at this loom. I said loom is a hallmark of dive watches. It's absolutely true. Look at any other types of watches. You don't see cool stuff like this. You just don't see it. I think it's wise to choose a dive watch with nice loom. Oh, I said silicone or rubber strap. I think it comes with the silicone, or you can get it that way. Aron bracelets are cool, but their clasp is often missing the diver extension, and that's unfortunate. So it's really nice to be able to let in a little bit or take out a little bit depending on how your wrist is that day, how swollen it is. All right, 21st is the San Martin SN0123G version 2. It's got a beige dial, off-white, a dual-time bezel. It's looking like the Marathon Navigator. I really do like dual-time bezels. They're very useful. And I think it's easier to use a dual-time bezel as an elapsed time bezel than it is to use the normal dive bezel and try to do a dual time with it. It just doesn't work mentally. For whatever reason, it's just easier to multiply these by 5. We're used to seeing a 4 and translating that to 20. We're used to seeing a 6 and translating that to 30. We're not used to going the other way around, though. Cool choice, decent loom. Next to the Houtman Pilbara. Really don't know much about this company. The dial's looking like a rock. I don't know what's going on here with the words. Is the text printed on the glass or something? I don't know. They give you a loom crown for what that's worth. Next, the Bernie Compressor V4, 119 bucks. And Bernie, I don't know what the deal is, but this loom is legit. This orange loom, I've seen customer shots. This is what it looks like. Like, I haven't seen any other watch brand get orange loom like this. It just looks so bright. It's really incredible. They do have other less weird colors. Next to the Vice Standard Issue Dive. Cream dial. Really cool loom. Check that out. I like that. 25th is the Squale Montauk. I was not familiar with this particular model until just now. But yeah, got kind of a sand dial. Tropic rubber strap. Okie dokie. Loom looks not great, but there it is. Next to the Boulder Venture. The caramel dial. Looks pretty nice. The bracelet doesn't have an extension though. Titanium watch. Thinner than average for dive watch. Yeah, the average thickness of a dive watch overall is 14. But you really need to look at the different depth ratings to have meaningful analysis. It's a good thickness. Next to the Stalingrad Commander. Yeah, just a beige dial. Low contrast. Not great. Really weird strap here. Is it like an octopus or like fish leather, shark leather? I don't know what kind of leather this is, but it looks really weird. and cool. Next to the Audaz Sea Armor. Sea Armor. That desert sand color again, sort of salmon-y looking. Really good loom. This will be in the runoff at the end, runoff rounds at the end. And loom is a strong feature of this one. It's one of the best looms of the ones in the runoff. But it's very, very thick. 15 millimeters, it's thicker than average. Next to the Norcane Neverest Night Sight. 4,000 bucks. And I can't tell if this is really a dive watch or not, because there's no loom on the bezel. You have a compass bezel. That's not really what you want. You see this score, it's in the dive watch series, this was not recommended. My cutoff was 73. So C- was considered, I don't recommend it. Was the 600 something dive watches I looked at scored 73 or higher. So this is on the wrong end of the spectrum here. And it's because it's got the compass bezel. The bezel's really not great for a dive watch. There's no loom. It's sort of more of like a field watch, honestly. 30th is the Alkin Dual Time. It's that cocoa color. Yeah, dual time bezel, it says it in the name. Next is the Le Forbon La Rochelaise. And yeah, 150 meters. Not a great dive watch in my opinion, but here it is. Next is the Out of Order 40. No loom on the bezel. Cool color though. It's sort of a sand dial. I mean, this bezel is very unique. It's really cool how they distress the case. I like that idea. I like their whole thing, their whole shtick here. And again, actually, look at this second hand. They really made a beefy second hand and put a large strip of loom on it. That's cool. More of a dive style watch, but it's okay. Not passing the class though. Next, the Nomos Neomatic 38. 4,000 bucks for this Nomos. Poor contrast on it. Just make the hands dark. If you have a light dial, make your hands dark. But there's no bezel. It's again sort of a dive style. Very thin, 9.9 millimeters, super thin. Next, the Obris Morgan Port. And yeah, it's a tannish, grayish dial. Very minimalist. 35th is the Timex Navi XL. That is a tan. Very nice tan. I'm liking the color. I like that they have dark hands here. See how easy it is? And how nice it is. You can read the time super easy. I like that. You get your military Arabics. Cool. All right, just two more. 36th is the Breitling Chronomat. Limited edition, 1 out of 100. Victoria Beckham, I think, has something to do with this. It's got a push-pull crown, though. Why? I mean, is this supposed to be a dive watch? Maybe it's not. It does have a rotating bezel with a pip on it. But yeah, it's all gold. But it has a tan dial. You get a B on the second hand, like with a V or something? Okay. Only 10 millimeters thick. So that's nice. It's a 36 millimeter. If you're a rich lady, this may intrigue you. And in last place, the Panerai Radomir Officine PAM 01385. Yes, I like the coffee color dial. You know, coffee with cream in it, so it's still a type of a tan. I like the sandwich dial. I mean, Panerais are so cool. Panerais are definitely cool. It's a 45 millimeter. It's going to be huge. It's going to be so distinctive. It's going to look classy. It's not a great dive watch, though. It's only 100 meters water resistance. It has a push-pull crown. Not really for diving. You know, that's the category that supposedly these Panerais are, is dive watches. Okay, so that was all the watches. I showed you all 37. Probably took longer than it should have. Sorry about that. But here's the runoff rounds. We're going to look at 10 subjective factors. Looks, loom, size, brand strength, affordability, and then the color, you know, what color the dial is. I favored some colors over others. Tan is the best, like that sort of thing. We've got 6 rounds here. I'll show you all the rounds. Round 1, looks. I just put these in the order that I thought was the best looking watch down to the worst. And yeah, I love how the Panerai looks. So that got second place for looks. Longines has first place for looks. Horizon, third place for looks. You get the picture. Round 2 is Loom. Loom impressiveness and utility. Norcane, if it even had a pip on the top, that would be the best loom. To have this full loom. Full loom is really nice, but as a dive watch, you're trying to time stuff. And so with no loom pip, that's not great. You know, maybe it should have gone near the bottom. I don't know. I kind of put it near the middle. But here's the loom impressiveness. Really hate the Longines Legend Diver loom. I think that's bad. Yeah, it's so weird I even put it below these other ones. Well, that's no second loom. Even the Panerai has second loom. Okay, round 3 is size. Because the original size was like broad. You could have like a 45 or something, I think. and it would still be fine. At this point, I tightened it up. 38 to 42. If you're outside of that diameter, you get penalized. And thickness. 12 is, yeah. Thinner than 12, you get a bonus. Thicker than 12, you get a penalty. All of this is built in there for round 3. Round 4, brand strength. So I just ranked these according to their watch chart's popularity. I already had that from the Pilot watch, so I just put that in here. Decided to stop having that be subjective and just have watch charts do it. Luminox, you'll notice, is in this top row. Seiko is super high brand strength. Everybody knows about Seiko. People love Seiko. So yeah, it's really high. Luminox, same deal. Alen, these aren't even in watch charts, so they all just get a 1 out of 10. Affordability, I just sorted them from lowest price to highest price. Breitling is the most expensive. Timex is the least expensive. So here you go. Yeah, and the score is just basically where they are in here. Times minus. This is going to get 0, I believe, or a -1. One of the two. And this will get a -10. All right, here's color. This is the last round. If it was tan or khaki, I gave it a +6. Here we go. These are the best for tan, in my opinion. Sand, I gave it a +5. Sand is good too. Dirt, I gave a +4. Almond, a +3. Beige, +2. Desert sand, +2. Caramel, I don't think is great. I don't like the caramel. There's something about it. It's not doing it for me, so that's only a +1. And cocoa, also just a +1. If we had some of those other colors, if for some reason I had included a birch or whatever, or fawn, you know, those would have gotten 0. Okay, that's it. So let's do the top 10. All right, the top 10 tan dive watches. In 10th place, the Horizon Diver N. Yeah, I mentioned I really like the Art Deco style. I like the cutout that looks like a rotary phone. Just cool looking watch. Not too crazy expensive, only $350. In 9th place is the Zeos Black Tip. It's got kind of a dirt colored dial. Good wearing proportions, 41 and 12.5 millimeters thick. It's gonna be nice. H-link bracelet, great diver extension on this thing. They use the Nodex clasp. So nice. It is kind of expensive though, $600. Got a -5 for affordability. Ended up in 9th place. In 8th place is the Seiko Tuna. Got that caramel dial. Really great loom on this. And high brand strength, 10 out of 10. Not too expensive, only $474. It's pretty good for a Seiko actually. They're starting to get more expensive. It's a good option. It's an ISO rated dive watch. 7th place is the NSB Canaveral. Mentioned it does match the Rolex Submariner case shape, but Rolex doesn't have a brown bezel. The hands, all this stuff is totally different. Border date window. It's actually looking really cool. Great loom on it as well. 6th place is the Protech US Marine Corps PT1216. Tritium loom is the reason for this one. And if you like a quartz watch, here you go. Quartz is very reliable. It's very accurate. It's more robust than automatic, fewer moving parts and such. The main downside to quartz is just you have to change the battery. But if you really cannot allow that battery to fail you at any point, just change the batteries once a year or whatever. I don't think it's all that big a deal. Nice beefy screw down crown here. 300 meters water resistance. This is a legit dive watch and it looks really cool. 5th place is the Blancpain 50 Fathoms Bathyscaphe Desert. Looks really cool, very expensive. So affordability, it got a -10. Imagine how far this would have gone if it didn't have the affordability penalty. It's large though. Just be aware that it is thick. Loom is okay. Actually, it looks good. Huge chunks of loom on these hands. So those are going to last a long time, I can tell. Bezel pip is weak sauce though. That is not great. And there you go. 4th place, Trasa Seafarer. It's got that desert, sand, desert, whatever. The kind of pinkish tan. Looks good. This one's actually a little bit thin. And in 3rd place, the Longines Legend Diver 36. 36 for 36 millimeters, so it's a tiny one. It's a small dive watch. Some people prefer small dive watches, so this is an option for you. Loom, I do not like whatsoever, but maybe you do like this weird loom pattern. It is also expensive, $2,500. There you go. In 2nd place, if price was no object, this would be 1st place. The Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean 600. I love that they do the green, they mix the Loom colors. You've got your green minute hand and a green pip, and then blue everything else. I like that. It's a master chronometer. Date window is looking plain though. Oh, it's got a little bit of a interesting thing going on there. Okay, it's very thick. Omegas tend to be thick for some reason, but 16 millimeters is especially thick. You've got your helium escape valve. This might be the only one, actually. Yeah, this is the only one in the entire video, actually, that has a helium escape valve. So if you're a saturation diver, and you need a tan watch for some reason, this is the only one. So, choice is easy for you if you're a saturation diver and you have to have a tan dive watch. Well, the Omega is the only one for you. And first place, what could it be? In my opinion, the best tan dive watch is the Luminox 3000 Navy SEAL Evo. You get your tritium loom. You get an excellent color of tan, in my opinion. 200 meters water resistance, that's plenty for everybody. 200 meters water resistance is totally suitable for 95% of people who are looking for a dive watch. Quartz reliability and accuracy. I think this is a great choice. It's the one I thought was the best out of the tan dive watches. Alright, so that's all I had on the watches. And as I do in all these videos, after I talk about watches, I like to share a Bible passage. So that's what I'm going to do now. Alright, Bible time. Disclaimer, I'm not a pastor or biblical scholar. I just like sharing the Bible with other people. And I've been going through the 10 Commandments on these videos, and we're already at Commandment 9. Amazing. And the 9th Commandment, the one the Protestants, number 9, is it's found in Exodus 20, verse 16. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. The command is about perjury. Not just in the courtroom perjury, but like saying lies about somebody that are gonna hurt them. I don't think I mentioned this in some of the past videos, but the commandments, you know, if you're not Christian or something, the commandments are not like, here's how you get to heaven or anything. Christians, we believe that we're sinful. We can't make it up to heaven. Our sins prevent us from being able to be in the presence of God even. But God has sent his only son, Jesus, to die for us, to take our sin on himself. And Jesus bore the punishment of our sin. And so if we just believe, if we believe in our heart and confess with our mouths, if you declare with your mouth Jesus as Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. That's what we believe. That's what Christians believe. So adhering to the 10 Commandments, keeping the 10 Commandments does not give you a seat at heaven, but the Bible does say that we are blessed. You know, he that loves the law is blessed. Yeah, it's actually all over the place in the Bible that says if we keep God's commandments, we will be blessed. And that pleases God for us to do that. It's a good thing to do, to be aware of what God's commandments are and to follow them. Okay, so this isn't just about the courtroom. So thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. I mentioned I've been going through Alistair Begg's book, The Pathway to Freedom. And on this commandment, I am going to differ with Pastor Begg. He really expanded this thing out to just be about any sort of lies, flattery even. When I just read the commandment, it says, thou shalt not bear false witness. Okay, so that's the lie part. Against thy neighbor. So false witness is telling somebody else about. So Joe here, you know, he slapped some lady. That's false witness against Joe. You know, when he didn't do it, the false part. He didn't do it. I say he slapped some lady. That's what the commandment's about. So I'm going to call that perjury. Actually, Begg calls that perjury or even gossip. I'm not going to try to split hairs here on perjury versus gossip. Let's just say making up lies about people. That's what this is. All right, so here's a quote from John Calvin. Let us not malign anyone with slanders or false charges, nor harm his substance by falsehood. In short, injure him by unbridled evil speaking and impudence. Let's not violate the 9th commandment. Pretty straightforward. In talking about people, Begg brings up the question, is it kind, is it true, and is it necessary? You know, even if something's true, maybe it's not kind or necessary to say it about somebody. That's important. I think the command, though, is quite simple, and I don't think it's some deep analysis. Okay, here's a couple about gossip, because I think gossip can be extremely harmful, too. So the thing with gossip is that you may be spreading something that you heard that you don't know if it's true or not. So I don't think we should be gossiping as Christians, because there's always that danger. We're going to say something bad about somebody that we don't know for sure. So we could be telling lies about somebody. So here's a couple Proverbs. Proverbs 16, verse 28. A perverse person stirs up conflict, and a gossip separates close friends. Okay, so the outcome of gossip is bad, even if it's true. With gossip, there's true gossip and false gossip. I think the command is about false things. We shouldn't be spreading false things. Here's Proverbs 18:8. The words of a gossip are like choice morsels. They go down to the inmost parts. So that's the peril of gossiping. And I think that's why we have this 9th commandment here, is because it's very hard to take back that. If you slander somebody, for example, you say a teacher abused some child, that teacher will lose his job and maybe never get it back again. His reputation may be ruined forever, even if he's cleared of that charge. He just may always be thought of that way because he was accused of it at one time. Don't lie about people. That's the command. If you want better biblical analysis, I've linked 4 pastors in the description. Please check them out. It's very nice to listen to sermons. That is an edifying thing to do. But yeah, all 4 of those pastors are great, so check them out. All right, now I'll close with a prayer. Lord, thank you for this time, and I pray that you would just help us all to not just avoid breaking your commandments, but to live out the positive spirit of your commandments, to speak well of other people, to call out evil, absolutely, when we see evil, but not to share rumors and gossip that we don't know if it's true or not. I just pray, Lord, that you would help us all. Pray, Lord, that you would help us all to walk in the path that you have laid before us, and to be salt and light in this world, and to follow you with all our hearts. Lord, please strengthen us to be godly men. I pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen. Now may the Lord of peace himself give you peace always and in every way. The Lord be with you all. See you next time. And I know that he'll be with me